Hello, you lovelies, and welcome to KoiCast. This is a hot and hotline heavy week. I am Koi Jandro, a Bostonian who loves pop culture, comic books, and people, most of them. And I am joined, as ever, by the great producer, Jake Lloyd Bacon. How you doing, man?
I'm doing fantastic, Koi. How are you?
Less feisty than last week, even though it was only an hour ago.
I'm so surprised.
I need to eat.
Well, I'm surprised to hear that. You say it was an hour ago. I don't know what you're talking about. It was a week ago.
A week ago, obviously.
And there has been such a huge social media frenzy against you. I can't believe they're dragging your name through the mud. As you know,
the internet mud.
Last week's show, Koi Jandro spent 20 minutes talking about his birthday and not once mentioned the engagement of the century that occurred between myself and former guest of the show,
and often winner of the letterboxing,
Alexandra Hoy. They are so upset with you.
Okay, let the record show.
The fact that you never said.
I walked into your house before I even said hi.
Listen,
I said congratulations.
Listen.
I didn't know if you.
The internet is so upset with you. I can't believe. I just want to say on my behalf, everybody, thank you. It's very kind.
I saw it on Facebook.
You didn't have to do that.
Didn't know if you made it public. I saw it on your Facebook. I keep my. I didn't know if you posted.
You didn't. No, you didn't have to. You didn't have to do that on my behalf.
Well,
internet.
You did.
But you're right.
You did. You're right.
He was
a monster.
He spent all that time talking about his birthday.
Yep, which hadn't even happened yet.
Grown ass man.
Actually, this is my last episode for my birthday, so it's coming back.
I'm sorry. I'm just giving you shit.
Congratulations, man.
Yes.
We should talk about that.
We didn't talk about it last week.
Can we talk about how it happened?
Yes, that's why I was segueing.
I don't know what the public is.
That's why I was segueing this into that. I just like to make Koi squirm whenever I can.
It worked because I was like, I don't know if the people know.
We went away this past weekend. And I decided to make it it was just supposed to be a little escape, and I decided to make it an engagement trip.
Yeah.
Alexandra and I have been together for a very, very, very long time. And it's something that I wanted to do years ago. And the pandemic has consistently thwarted my plans.
And we talked about it not long ago.
Yeah, I've always had this idea of how I wanted to propose to Alexandra. And it never came to fruition. And so the reality was I just couldn't wait any longer. So I had to take an alternate approach to my plans. And things went hilariously bad in a way that's perfect. I won't tell the whole story here. Maybe we'll talk about it on a POP one day. Because it's very long and it's not as it might only be as funny to me, but like it's one of those instances where literally moments before Alexandra told me, I just wanted to let you know that I'm not feeling that great and I'm a little bit like, because we were literally on our way to go and we drove up in the middle of a heat wave.
It's insane.
What was supposed to be an hour and a half drive to a place just outside of LA turned into a 3-hour drive because there was a wildfire on the way in Castaic that closed the 5 down. And it was one of those things where it was like, I couldn't help but laugh.
Yeah.
Because it was like everything that could have went wrong. We wanted to go to this specific, I wanted to take her to this very specific spot that we had been to once previously.
Yeah.
Because again, I had plans to do it in like Yosemite when we were supposed to go there, and then Sequoia and all these places because we're outdoorsy sorts, and we really like escaping into the forest lands, and so this is sort of the closest spot that we go to every now and then. And the last time we were there in March, we were with friends, and I wanted to do it alone. I wanted to do it with just her and I missed the opportunity then in March when we were there, and I was like, I've been really bummed since March that I didn't do it then. And so we went to go find this specific spot, and then like we couldn't find the spot, which extended the driving in the heat, in like the 100-degree heat.
Yeah,
I literally once we stopped the car, the coolant in the Jeep started to bubble over because clearly there's some sort of leak and or air getting in the system, which means that literally as I stop, I'm realizing, oh great, now I think the Jeep is we're stranded. We're stranded. Like it was one of those things where everything went so wrong that it was
rom-com-esque.
It was perfect.
Yeah. And you got home. Spoiler alert.
Yeah, of course. And we had a beautiful weekend away.
Did you do it on the way?
Yeah, because I wanted to celebrate the weekend.
Right. I just
We
want to
wanted
make sure I got the context. Yeah. So it was an in celebration of that moment.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So that's
cool,
because if I would have waited till we were on the way home or during the weekend, then we wouldn't have been able to enjoy the weekend and engage. Which the whole point was like, hey, we're going away anyway because we just need a little 2-day vacation for Labor Day weekend. So I'd rather do it on the way and ahead of time. That way we're there celebrating versus being like, hey, I just did this. Now we have to go back home and go to work.
Right.
You know.
Koi's coming over tomorrow.
Sure.
Dude, that's so cool, man.
But yeah, it's it's long overdue.
I saw the pictures. They were
long
very
overdue.
cute.
Yeah, I set up the camera. I made her feel like I just wanted to take some scenic photos of us.
Yeah.
And of course, what she doesn't realize was that I actually just set the camera to record instead of to do
you
video.
Have video of everything.
So I just stood there and pretended to pose with her for a little while to try to make her feel stupid. And then I went, oh wait, that's right. It's not taking photos because it's recording because I have something I want to do.
Precious.
And so yeah, that's just going to be for us. I don't know that anybody's going to see that video. Also, by the way, we set up for this nice picturesque photo. I did not take in consideration that once I started talking to her, she might turn to me. And so we were facing the camera, which was great. But then she turned to look at me and then she just has the sun in her eyes. So the entire time she has her hand up in front of her face. Yep. And the entire time I'm also thinking like, well, I do want to have a cute picture or two. We want to have this moment
as well.
So I don't want to move us into the shade because then we're going to be not in the sunlight. So it was just a really funny train wreck of what I think is a perfect proposal. It did not go as planned. And the reality is it should have happened 3 years ago. But the pandemic really threw a monkey wrench and everything.
Who'd you call first?
We didn't call anybody. We opted to just because we were away for the weekend.
Yeah.
So we decided to not do phone calls.
Fuck yeah.
We sent text messages. Mostly I just texted
the image,
the photo of me on one knee. That if you want to see the pictures, you can see that it's on my social media at Jake Lloyd Bacon. And I think we even posted it on the Dragon Wagon Instagram and Twitter as well.
Oh, got it. Okay.
At its Dragon Wagon. So I just sent that image to like a friends and family. I think technically the first person I texted might have been my sister. Now I think of it.
Oh.
And she texted her close friend, who was the first person to speak to because her close friend was like, "I'm FaceTiming you right now," and we couldn't avoid it. But
that's also that's inevitable. If
it's different too with
no
her,
service. So sorry.
Her friends are also a little bit more like, "I need to talk right now," than my friends who are like, "Congrats, guys,
cool."
Also, you've been together for 5 years.
This
about time.
Sure,
about time.
This seems like a thing.
Yeah.
Whereas I thought you were like going to be overwhelmed by like everyone. I thought it'd be all your sister's friends type. So I was like, I'm gonna let him have this.
My sisters? What do you mean?
Like I thought it'd be people bombarding you all weekend.
Oh, right.
Like I just assumed you'd be like sick of like everyone reaching out.
There was a reason why we drove up on Friday.
Yeah.
And then we did not text or talk to anybody until Saturday.
Yeah.
And then we did not post it on social media until Sunday so that we can post
it for you.
And then, by the way, once we left our cabin we were in, we had Wi-Fi in the cabin, but the area that we stay at is a Verizon town. So if you don't have Verizon, you don't have cell phone service. We have AT&T because it's a real it's a little mountain town, and like there's no phone service.
Yeah.
So the drive home, there's like that first hour where we're just in that neighborhood and then we're in the mountain. So we posted right before we hit the road.
Amazing.
So that way there was nothing. And then of course, once we get onto the I-5 and all of a sudden we get service, Alexandra's phone was connected to the Jeep's Bluetooth.
Yeah.
Listening to the music. And so of course, all of a sudden it's like bling 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 because everybody's texting and responding on
that's
social media and
cute
whatnot.
as hell.
So yeah, it's a weight off my shoulder to be honest with you. It should have happened a long time ago. I'm so happy and she never said yes. She said of course. So it could be interpreted anyway.
That's true. Well, shit.
Of course. What does that mean?
Maybe there's a wedding.
It means you have no other option.
Yeah, that's it. Of course.
At least you didn't say what else. Yeah, sure.
That's why I didn't bring it up last week because I don't know if it's real. The reason I bring it up because until I get the wedding invitation, it's not legit. I'm not invited.
We are. You sure? You could. I mean, listen. It's. We're probably gonna have a destination wedding not far from LA.
Oh,
that's gonna be the plan because no matter where we have it, people are gonna be upset. Because
you're not from here.
Our families are scattered all over the world.
Yeah. So it's a destination for everyone.
We have friends. Yeah. Our friends are going to be living all over the world at this point. And so, we'll probably get married someplace in Northern California Yosemite-ish is sort of the plan.
I've got a destination wedding on December 18th in Colorado. So that is.
For who?
One of my best friends, Greg.
Greg?
Rejects.
Hey, Greg.
Come on.
Greg Alba?
Greg Alba.
All right, Greg. You got married a week before Christmas?
In Colorado?
In Colorado?
I'm from Boston and LA. Come on.
Listen, Greg.
Come on.
All I'm gonna say is do better next time.
Your next
time-
wife be more convenient for us.
Yeah, that's
because it's
a lot.
really about but like
that's a lot.
funny.
No, that's a lot,
right?
Especially when you have to like.
I felt so selfish.
You're
but I
already
was like,
poor.
bruh. Yeah,
because you're like, well, we're doing
because
Christmas
we work on the
stuff,
internet, and you're
Oh man,
it's not, and it's like the end of the year, so you're like already worried about taxes and Christmas presents.
That's that's a big
December
ask.
18th.
That's a big ask.
I'm just
December
saying.
18th.
So
we're doing ours on Christmas Eve.
Oh, okay, cool.
No.
In the Bahamas.
We also can't plan. We're all, it's. I want to get it done immediately. If it was up to me, we'd get married next month.
Sure.
But Alexandra does want to do a little bit more. The irony is that I'm the one who wants the big wedding, and she's the one who's like, she doesn't care. We can go to the courthouse. Yet I'm the one who's like, yeah, but we can still have a big wedding that we just do quickly, and that's just not super. But she's like, well, if we're gonna do the wedding, I want to save up and do it really. So I'm like, oh well, wait, what do you really want then?
Yeah.
But we have as much as we're giving Greg shit for making you go to Colorado.
Yep.
This upcoming year, the week of my 40th birthday,
big things popping.
My cousin is getting married on the East Coast in New York.
Oh no!
And then later that year, we have to go to Scotland for Paul and Callum's wedding. Paul, host of Myth Understood and on D&DW, the DM there. So next year we're gonna be we have 2 destination weddings.
So you're not getting married next.
So we're probably not getting married next year. So we're looking at.
Could be 2 years.
We're looking at 2024.
Yeah.
Which it's crazy to think that I'm gonna be 41 when we get married.
Whoa.
Like that's weird. But yeah. It's exciting times.
We'll just have to do your 40th early or late.
Well, what I'm thinking about doing is not doing it too early, but since it is about a week out, I'm thinking about traveling for my 40th, going up north for my 40th, and then saying bye to everybody. Everybody goes home to wherever they came from, and then Alexandra and I driving across country for the week.
Oh, that's cool.
Taking a week to drive across the country, and then that's part of my 40th trip.
Yeah.
We get to see a little bit of the country, we get to do a fun drive, and then we end up in New York for my
That's a great idea.
For my cousin's wedding, and then don't know how we get home. Whether we fly home.
That's a great 40th. I like that idea a lot.
Yeah, because for the 40th, I want to go up north. I want to go stay in like the Pacific Northwest somewhere.
Yeah.
That's sort of my goal. But right now it's all a big up and ups because that's not until March.
Life is a lot. That's
you have a birthday 2 days away, 3 days away.
What day is it?
Today is the 14th. Tomorrow. Your birthday's tomorrow.
This midnight is my birthday.
This midnight?
This midnight, right?
No, there's no way that's not an indie movie somewhere.
This midnight, coming soon from Zach Braff. I am more stressed about this birthday. I was talking to your fiance, which is fun to say.
Yeah.
I texted that. It was fun to say fiancé'd up.
It is very fun.
Because it's fancy.
Yeah.
No matter how old I get, it's so fancy.
Can I say it also helps too, because we have been together for so long that boyfriend, girlfriend always sounds weird. So we say partner.
Right.
So everybody assumes that we're both gay.
Oh.
Because I say, my partner.
My partner, yep.
Everybody's like, oh, okay, it must not. Because why would they not say
girlfriend or wife?
Why are they playing the pronoun game?
Right.
Or whatever.
But now it's
so now we can just say fiance. It's easier.
Which is only like 5% chance. Like if you say that and you're like, well, maybe. That said,
I actually am going to start referring to her as my ex-girlfriend.
Oh, there you go. That's nice.
Yeah.
I like that. As a 2-year lead up of ex-girlfriend.
Yeah,
I'm still living with my ex-girlfriend.
Yeah.
So, I was very excited to text fiance. But I was talking to fiance. I think this birthday is, even more stressful than 30. I think it's because I was
you're 3-3 or 3-4?
3-4.
3-4.
So I was looking at.
Hey, you beat Jesus.
I beat Jesus.
Tomorrow you beat Jesus. You're better than Jesus tomorrow.
Correct. I've been saying that for years, but tomorrow it's true. I think it's because I looked at death statistics and we're getting living shorter for the first time.
Yeah, the curve is coming back down.
Yeah, and I don't like
as far as life
expectancy.
Average life expectancy of an American
average life
man.
expectancy of an American white man is like 77.
Right.
Which means I'm middle aged this year.
Yeah.
And that was like I thought I had a decade till I was middle aged.
Technically you've been middle aged for 6 months. If it's 77, then 33 and a half.
68.
Yeah, 33 and a half
is
77.
60, that's 67.
Oh, you're right.
I'm giving myself a 5-year middle age.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Yes,
I'm like, don't scare me, man.
Sorry.
Don't you do this. No, I've got I consider the middle age as like a period.
Okay,
so if I'm going 5 years, that gives me 34 to 39.
Yeah.
Which I didn't think I was middle aged yet.
Oh, you're middle aged.
I thought I had 10 years.
Yeah.
So I've had a really interesting, and then the heat and the rage. It's been a lot of. I've had a midlife crisis without the Mustang.
You're no longer high school Peter.
I am
You're old Peter
definitely J. Michael Straczynski, college professor Peter.
Yeah.
I'm deeply teaching kids today. But it's so strange because obviously my job is so youth based. And it's really been interesting having TikTok come to a head during the pandemic, like faster. Like I knew it was going to be a thing, but I didn't. It's exponential because of the pandemic. And so like a lot of people I work with are teenagers and 20-year-olds. And it's not like great for my fear of mortality.
Sure.
Feeling like I'm chasing the fucking youth bracket.
It's also not great for all of your friends who are your age.
Oh yeah.
Who are like, why is Koi saying mid so much?
Cringe, bro. That's so cringe. Oh, it's so fucking hard to be around anyone saying mid or cringe. But it's been I think this birthday, the pandemic accelerating things by 2 years, which feel like 10, realizing I'm midlife, realizing all the people I'm around are younger than me, being the oldest one in a lot of circles. I want kids and a house and all that stuff, and being twice my parents' age when they had me is also a thing.
Well, your parents also had you as children.
So I'm in such an exceptional.
Yeah,
but that's my only perspective, right?
Like, no, I get it.
So when people are like, yeah, but you're the exception. I'm like, yeah, but I've lived that exception. So when I look at parents, I'm like 16-year-olds because to my brain, that's the parents.
I remember once whatever the year was that I turned the age my mom was when she had me, and I realized she had kids for 11 or 10 years when she had me. My sister's 10 years old.
Yeah.
And thinking like, I could never have had a kid 10 years ago, let alone right now when she had me.
I'm almost the age that my parents were when I moved out.
Wow.
So that's really a lot. So this birthday's a little harder, but what is cool is looking at, being 34 and truly doing what I love for a living. And it's just, it's me trying to appreciate that as opposed to be as stressed about it. Like talking to my team, them being like, you need to add this, this, and this. And I'm like, I could not do more work if I there is no hour in the day.
Right.
I'm not. And that was like, literally, I was texting as I walked in, they were like, you need to add this, this. And I was like, I don't know when.
No.
That's not a thing.
I don't need to do anything.
No. That's also maybe impossible. I barely sleep.
Yeah.
It is midnight is my birthday. I will be spending it working because She-Hulk's out tonight. And that is the most accurate representation of my life ever. I do love Marvel and I love She-Hulk and I love the show. But the fact that I'm actively working as I turn 34 is kind of a summation of where I feel like I'm in my life.
Well, this is what I like to do though. And people think that I'm a silly. Technically, since you were East Coast baby, 9 o'clock.
Oh, I like that.
Your birthday is at 9 p.m.
Oh, I'm gonna take a shot at 9 because I drink. I know you don't, but maybe I'll do my midnight
9
shot at
p.m.
9. Oh, because
that's technically midnight.
That's when I was.
Because your day,
my day. When I was born, that day was 9.
Exactly.
Oh, I like that a lot.
I always say because also
that's when you start getting texts.
I get texts at 9 o'clock from my East Coast friends.
Oh, that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna start my birthday, then take a little break to watch She-Hulk.
There you go.
That feels less like my work-life balance is as bad.
There you go.
Because I've been like, my work-life balance sucks. Fuck, I'm working on my birthday.
That's my little birthday gift to you.
It is actually
3 extra hours.
You just gifted me my work-life balance for the day.
It also, by the way, means that you're 3 years older than you thought you were.
3 hours.
3 hours. I'm sorry. 3 hours.
First, you gave me 6 months less. Now you're throwing in
Freudian slips.
Jake keeps taking away. He's not giveth and taketh. He's just taketh. Well, it is the Hot and Hotline Heavy Week. Let us get to our co-hosts, you lovelies, and let's see what you got to say.
Hey, Jake Coy, it's your main man, Vito Pepitone, lead singer of Deep August. I wanted to thank you boys for the amazing shout out because from all of your free publicity, our show at the Roslyn Heights Kiwanis Club was a freaking blowout, like sold out and a freaking fire hazard. There was 120 16-year-olds there, and the overflow was out to the parking lot. Thank you. And I just know that now that we're even deeper into August, that our show this week at the VFW Hall on Jericho Turnpike is gonna be another record breaker for us. So thank you so much. Anyway, here's my stupid question. How about you both use comic book characters to come up with a president and their cabinet, and we'll all vote to decide who we elect. Maybe a president, a vice president, secretary of state, the treasury, defense, education, and maybe say transportation. And you two each pick, and we'll vote. And let's limit it to only 2 men and women with your fancy X-Team music bands, okay? All right, that's it. And don't forget, it may feel like the dog days of summer, but that's just another way of saying it's Deep August, baby. This is Vito, out.
That was amazing.
That's in the running for favorite.
Also,
that was exceptional.
A plus on the Long Island references. I don't know where you're from actually, but well done. I don't know if you had to Google.
I was invested the whole
to
journey.
grab Jericho Turnpike, but well done.
Now I need to
Okay.
preface this just from the jump and acknowledge Ex Machina, because we had a superhero run for president in the comic books. This is written by one of our favorite writers, Brian K. Vaughan.
Right.
And Ex Machina doesn't get talked about enough. Like, we get
Right.
Saga, Why the Last Man.
Sure.
I would check out Ex Machina for this very thing. Great comic.
This is so the game and task he's given us here is a tough one. So he wants us to put together a presidential campaign.
Yep. So what I think we should do,
have an election.
I think we should both have president and vice president.
Yes.
But I think we should pick what cabinet we want to
For
focus on.
any four others.
Yeah,
so we have
six like
each.
the Avengers.
Okay.
So 4 cabinet positions, but president, vice president as well.
Okay.
Okay.
Sure.
And then the people in the Discord get to vote.
Alrighty.
Who are they electing?
Okay. So should we start at the top?
We should probably start at the top.
Or is that
finish?
anticlimactic?
Let's end there. You're right.
Yeah, right.
Let's end with the president.
Right.
Okay.
Okay, so who is in one of your cabinet positions?
Okay.
I gotta write this down.
I'm gonna
This is
go.
be
It's gonna be a
ridiculous.
whole. This is quite.
What an absurd thing that you've tasked us with.
I am
Listen,
so-
we're a huge fan of your music there in Deep August.
Yeah, Deep August just
But
has some esoteric
This
polls
is a
here.
bizarre game you have us
because we're
play.
so political here on Koicast. Let's do Secretary of.
So let's see, Coy, Jake, and
Let's see. Man, cabinets are big. This is how political we are. Cabinets are big.
all right, I'm gonna go first.
Okay,
since
go
you're
for it.
taking too long.
Go for
Boom. The gentleman in charge of my Department of Justice, Superman. DOJ.
Well, there that is.
DOJ is Superman. Truth, justice.
Okay.
He's literally from Justice League to Justice Department.
And that's the whole slogan. That's going to help your cabinet. Okay, I'm going to go with the Secretary of Energy,
Okay.
Bishop.
Oh.
Literally can turn anything into energy, is going to save the planet and the country.
Using one of your X genes.
One of them immediately.
I'm going to go ahead and also have my Secretary of Energy for the guy that's running my DOE. Also at X-Men, I'm going to go Havoc.
Ooh, that's good. I like that. All right, for my Secretary of Agriculture, I've got someone who very much loves plants, someone who's very invested in them, perhaps to a villainous level, Poison Ivy.
Damn it. Okay, wait, hang on a second. These are much larger letters than I'm usually words rather. Agriculture, Poison Ivy. Okay. Alrighty, let me see. Who else do we have here? Let's go head of oh shit. No, I don't want to pick just X-Men. Okay. I feel like it's the same people.
It's just
every
the characters
game,
you love.
But it's also because there's some that are just so obvious and easy.
Sure.
I'm gonna go the person in charge of the Department of Housing and Urban Development. I'm gonna go with my second X gene, and I'm gonna go Forge.
Wait, didn't you just use Forge for Secretary of
No,
Energy?
Havoc.
Oh,
Havoc is energy.
You know what's
Yeah.
funny? I pictured Forge because you always use him, so I didn't even hear the thing you said. I was just like, he's going to use Forge.
So
And now you have.
housing and urban development.
That's genius.
Oh boy, I'm not gonna be able to read this chicken scratch back. I'm going with Forge. Great.
You know what? I'm not going with this category, but I just learned that the Secretary of State, which is a very important role,
Yeah.
his name is Antony Blinken, which is a name I've never heard.
Did you say Abe Blinken?
Abe
No, I said
Blinken?
Hey Blinken.
Achoo, bless you. I've never heard that name in my life, and that's our third sort of command.
Sure.
That's how little I know about the Secretary of State. Secretary of Defense. I want someone with well-roundedness, someone that has a military background, someone that is ready for anything, and also someone that is a superhero. I'm going War Machine.
For
Secretary of Defense.
what? All right.
Keeping an eye on things.
So you're going for defense, you're going War Machine. I don't know that that's going to be a great look for foreign policy to have the person in charge of
This
defense
is America.
named War Machine.
Is that not what our Secretary of Defense is named now?
All righty. Let's
I think every
see here.
election we just called War Machine.
Alrighty, let's see here. I'm gonna go with Yeah, I'm gonna go with foreign policy for the Secretary of State, Department of State. I'm gonna go with let's see, foreign policy. There's too many X-Men in the world.
You've already used your 2.
I know, I've already used my 2. I guess I'm gonna go. But hang on a second. Wait, we need to put a big caveat on this. Do they need to be Americans?
Only the president has to be born in America. And the vice president, I think, in case they become American. Oh, no, Secretary of State would have to, too, because they're third in line. I think they have to.
Wait, do they have to, though?
I don't know. Because my Secretary of State isn't, so that's a good
great,
point.
Perfect. So I'm going to T'Challa.
Okay, good. I think it's fair that if we both are wrong, then we're both wrong.
I'm going to T'Challa.
Yeah, okay, so that's funny.
Foreign affairs, because who better
to balance all of that.
To curb the American exceptionalism of foreign affairs and to know when aid is necessary and
when to pull back, when to engage.
Yeah,
you know what's funny? I was doing Secretary of State and I saved my second X gene, and that's the wife of T'Challa, Storms. Aurora Monroe.
That's what I was thinking at first, and that's what I realized.
So
that's what I realized I used.
Because I want someone to curb the warmongering. You know what I mean?
Same.
I want someone that's going to be able to protect us. Also, if it only takes 2 people to take them out, I want someone that can be the president. Like I think Aurora, with her diplomacy and her leadership, like I want Secretary of State to be ready.
Okay, so there you go. So it is time for our who's going to be your VP? Who is?
Oh, okay. Now it's getting real.
Yeah, this is bananagrams here.
Okay, so
by the way, I did not think at all about how my cabinet would work as a team in any capacity. I strictly looked at a title and went, "Yeah, that
seems like a job."
And I still don't know.
Hope they don't have to meet each other.
I still don't know who's at the top of my list here. Who's at the top of the ticket?
I got for the VP. I want someone that's ready to take over at a moment's notice. Someone that can handle being a team player, someone that would work well with others, someone that is capable of leadership and is inherently distrusting because we need them to be at the ready. Batman.
So Batman is going to be a vice president.
Yep.
There's no world where Batman goes, yeah, I'll take this position.
That's because the leader is so strong that he's like, this is what America needs.
Fucking Batman.
He's a billionaire. You need money for the campaign. And a lot of times VPs are a lot of the funding for the campaign. Someone's got to think of the logistics here.
This motherfucker just went with Batman.
You're right.
I just realized that housing and development should have been Lex Luthor. That would have been funny. Okay, let's see. So who's going to be my VP? I got to think who's my P. I think who POTUS is.
Who that POTUS?
This is bananas. Vice President. I'm going to go with a VP who I'm going. See, the problem is like I'm stuck in the world of comics where it's like, oh, who would be politically minded?
Right.
Who would have a hand on? There's so many people there's so many like soldiers in comics.
Sure.
And people who you associate with politics, but only because of military.
But that's why I picked Batman, because he's going to be the one that knows how to solve every problem with a long enough timeline. And I think as a VP,
yeah,
that's
but you chose him as a VP, a person with no power whatsoever.
Right.
He's
got all the intelligence you'd need to be running things behind the scenes.
Yeah, I don't know.
He'd have everybody's weakness written down. He's ready.
Shit.
Think of the dossiers.
Think of the dossiers. They would be like, why are these dossiers in black leather? Could you just send us a goddamn PDF?
Why are they called bat dossiers? Why does he add bat to every dossier?
Bat to everything.
The bat briefings are getting ridiculous.
All right. You know what? I'm going to one-up your Batman. He's risen through the ranks of a fictional city to somehow end up in the real DC. Once police commissioner, now vice president candidate, Gordon.
Well, as someone who abandoned his family, I don't know how he's going to do abandoning our country. But
different timeline.
Here we are. Okay, and then, of course, the reason Batman would be willing to be VP, one of the only people that Batman in comic canon, in the rare time they cross over, listens to and is available for, not the other man that wears red and blue, not his pal Clark, but I'm going Steve Rogers. I think that Captain America, if given the right opportunities, it's obvious, but it's because the VP is going to balance out his blind want. Like, he's going to keep him. It's kind of like how Batman keeps Superman humble. Like, I think that relationship would be similar with Cap. And I think Cap would have to see the need for him in the office, because I think he would not take that job unless it was dire. So you need someone like Batman and Captain America.
All righty. I am gonna go with a president who, oh man, maybe needs to make hard decisions. Maybe that's where I'm going. Someone who needs to understand when to listen to other people and when to not listen to other people.
Mm-hmm.
I think I am going with Nick Fury.
Oh, wow.
I think Nick Fury is president. We know he can lead organizations.
Yeah.
Why not lead a nation?
Sure. He's I mean, this is a very political statement, but he's hella duplicitous, which is important.
Exactly. I think Fury and Gordon, I think they balance each other out. They're a good double ticket.
Trust either one of those men.
They both look like politicians.
See, I got one distrust and one too much trust. You went both distrust.
All I'm gonna say here is vote for Koi's team if you want more white guys in office. What's the name of your party?
White guys in office. No, the White House. My party is the man, how do you name a party?
Just you could call it the blank party. Like that's the easiest way to do it for the sake of naming this.
The super party.
Super party?
Yeah.
Oh boy.
We're the super party.
Okay.
Because super soldier serum. We're the super party.
Oh my gosh. I'm gonna call
bunch of spies on your party.
We're gonna call our party we're the I'm trying to come up with a good site-based joke. We are the it's listen, hindsight for the heights. No, that's not, that doesn't make sense. That's a bad thing to say.
Foresight?
Foresight. Yes, we're the Foresight party.
I'm not saying his opponent had to name his party, but one of us has some foresight.
Listen, at least we didn't go with the most obvious president's choice.
You know what? I led up to it. I built the proper team.
So who would you vote for? Would you vote for the super party? Of course, at the top of the ticket is Captain America with running mate Batman.
You're right.
The head leading Department of Energy is Bishop. Leading the Department of Agriculture is Poison Ivy, because you want your agriculture to kill you. And Department of Defense is War Machine, and Department of State is Storm. And over in, you know what? Fuck it. I'm not going with Foresight because you named it and you're an asshole. We're going to go ahead. We're going to call our party the Justice Party.
Oh.
Justice Party.
That's always gone well historically.
And of course, the president top of the ticket is Fury. Vote Fury Gordon. Vote
sure
Fury,
sounds healthy.
Fury Gordon at the top of the ticket, and of course, the head of the Department of State is Black Panther T'Challa. Head of Housing and Urban Development is Forge. You know how many people are going to have sustainable housing that doesn't collapse? And by the way, what you don't know about Ford is that he's working hand in hand with the head of the Department of Energy, Havoc, to ensure that whatever they build is completely clean energy. We're not relying on anything.
We've got endless energy with my team, and we've got plants for everyone, so no one will go hungry.
Yeah, because Poison Ivy is going to work real well with everybody. And of course, the Department of Justice, of course, is Truth, Justice, and the American Way Superman.
This was fun.
Who would you vote for? Let us know in the Discord and on Twitter. And I'm sorry.
The super party.
So, hey guys, it's Justin from Dallas. Haven't called in a while, been pretty busy. But I was just calling to share with you the record scratch moment I had of a lifetime when I was in the bathroom with quick eye. I'm fry off from being a sister, mind you. And Koi mentioned the Predator fighting Jesus Christ. And I kind of laughed so hard I nearly had a stroke. And then I think I actually had a stroke just because those two things would not compute in my brain. Thanks for making it weird, Koi. I love what you do. And if you can really pull that movie off, I really want some of what you're smoking. So, thanks, guys. Keeping it weird. All right. Bye, guys.
Justin, been a long time since we heard from you. Unfortunately, yeah, his call kind of dropped out in the beginning there.
But I think it was my Predator Jesus
The
movie.
context is that he couldn't wrap his head around you making Predator fight Jesus Christ.
I just think
his thing did dump out, maybe pun intended, maybe not. He says, I had this moment when I was in the bathroom and then there was no sound for a little bit.
Yeah, it was a 2-second.
So we don't know what you were doing in the bathroom. So you can either call back.
The mystery.
Let us know in the Discord, maybe if it's easier.
But the Passion of the Predator movie I'm going to make is going to be,
The Passion of the Predator, that's what you're calling it?
Obviously, it's right there.
All right.
Mel Gibson directing. It's going to go great. People love him.
Wasn't that already a movie he made called
Passion of the Christ?
No. Not Army. What was it called? Aztec. Where it was?
Apocalypto. It's basically that. You add a Predator into it and some Jesus
in the Apocalypto universe.
It's the sequel to 2 of his films.
Oh, it's like Glass.
Yeah,
it's
when you bring it back together.
You're bringing
people
them together.
didn't know we were going to do that with Predator. Bring it into the Apocalypto Jesus universe.
All I'm going to say is if Predator was in the Bible, it'd be in better read.
I'm just saying shared universes are huge, and it is going to bring in tickets. That's going to sell very well. Great to hear from you again, man. Hope you've been well. I definitely was like picturing the strangest team up / fights ever, and that one makes the list.
Hey guys, it's Lewis from Houston, AOPW _figures on Instagram. Haven't called you guys in a while because I really couldn't think of anything, but I just recently finished the Watchmen series from 2019, the HBO series. Absolutely loved it. Thought it was a wonderful sequel to the comic, and it kind of made me wonder if you could pick any comic series to get a series adaptation sequel, what comic book would you be? So the original comic is the first part, and then a TV series as a follow-up to the comic, not a follow-up to any movie. What comic book series would you want a follow-up for? Whether it preferably an original adapted story, not adapting a comic book as a TV show. Hope that's not too confusing. Anyways, good to hear you guys every week. Stay safe, and yeah, keep on rocking. Bye.
I love this.
This is really
It's a really
hard.
good question.
It's also really difficult for me because I feel like
it's so rare for that to work.
Well, also
a lot.
most of my favorite comics, the ones that are memorable, the ones that come to mind, they had such great endings.
Right.
That I go, well, I don't know that I would want it to continue in a different format. And I could argue Watchmen
did as
was
well,
that, but the question
but
is,
we're not as smart as Damon Lindelof.
Yeah, it's just one of those things where this is really tough because the ones that immediately come to mind, I go, no, I don't want more than that.
I would like the Clone Saga because it didn't end well. The Clone Saga, Spider-Man, Clone Saga.
Okay. But didn't it continue though in comics
that's
forever?
The thing is it kept coming back and it didn't have a definitive ending because basically that was written to be like a regular sized arc.
Right.
And then it started selling insanely well. So they started adding storylines to it. They started adding writers to, even in the original arc. So that became a convoluted, kind of like when a studio interferes too much mess, and then it didn't get to have any sort of closure, and then they kept bringing it back. Right. So I would love a definitive sequel to the Clone Saga, one, because cinematically, multiple Spider-Man is visually interesting, and the way I've always seen the Clone Saga is it's a, to me, and this is just my take, and it's probably over-intellectualizing it, but I've always seen it as with great power comes great responsibility. When that goes too far and you kind of like snap, I've always seen the power and responsibility of the Clone Saga is like an existential crisis. I've always seen Peter seeing Ben Reilly as what could have been, and Ben seeing Peter Parker as what could have been. They're both mirrors of each other, right? But if you actually look at the stories in the macro, Peter's Ben Reilly is this young blonde, works at a coffee shop. I'm like, is that like a midlife? Is that him trying to figure out what he wanted to be with the freedom? And then Ben sees Peter as like, he's got a family, he's all put together. They're both seeing the what ifs of their life. So I would love to see a movie deal with the who is the original, what does it mean when you're too responsible? Like, it's kind of like a work-life balance. Like, what does it mean when you're So I think a movie could summarize the things I love about the Clone Saga and actually put a bow on it to make people respect it, because I think it's a great story.
Right. Yeah, that's really good. I do think though it's tough because there's like conflicting
narratives.
Yeah.
But that would clean it up, right?
Yeah.
Like,
maybe.
Also, if you look at what they did with Into the Spider-Verse, they were able to clean up a lot of conflicting narratives. They were able to streamline it.
Sure, but I guess the question is is that a continuation, or
It would
is
be
it
the continuation of the
alternate
most
timeline
recent
kind of
one.
thing?
And that way you could just have like, this is what actually happened. These are the
Right.
characterizations. It does have a good writing team.
Right.
But like Tom Holland's would be fascinating. Also,
Yeah.
he'd be the right age to kind of go like, and also it'd be interesting because Tom Holland wants to just like, have a kid with Zendaya and tuck in. So it'd be
Right.
kind of an interesting like self-aware movie of like he's stuck
Right.
as a movie star versus him like,
Right. Yeah, that's tough. Do you have any other ones that come to mind? I'm struggling here because I feel like the comics that I can think of, most of them have already been adapted into something.
Sure.
I like, for example, like the way Why the Last Man ended, to
Sure.
see it continue on about a different person, to see that universe continue on
Yeah.
post Yorick
Yeah.
would be interesting. But we've already had we have a version of that exists now that's already
Sure.
live action. The problem is I don't remember how it ended in the comics, or if it did end, because this is another problem, is a lot of these stories I haven't read in so many years. The BPRB book, where like Armageddon actually happened.
Yeah.
Do you remember that book?
Very vaguely.
I don't remember what it was
long
called.
time.
It was something about hell. Hell is hell. Something.
It's been a decade or more.
Sure. The only reason I say that is because like that could be a book where, even though I don't recall how it ended in the book, or if it did, for all I know, that story just continued and bled into other things. But
Sure.
like Hell on Earth, that's what it was called.
Okay.
That's such a great launching point for a series that takes place afterwards, because it's all of that like weird Lovecraftian stuff.
Yeah.
Where you could just tell a story of any, for Christ's sakes, the Stranger Things could have been the TV sequel
Right.
to that.
Yeah.
Where, or like Buffy with the Hellmouth,
Right.
or Supernatural, where it's just like, oh, horrors now exist. And so you can pick up characters that are new or
Yeah,
fresh,
that's fun.
not too dissimilar to the way the Watchmen HBO
Right.
series is, which I still have yet to see, but I'm familiar with the context of how that works.
Yeah.
It
It has a near perfect ending, but I
Right.
love the tone of. I think you just read Mr. Miracle.
No, I told you I've been trying. I'm wanting to. I was looking
Sorry.
for it.
Yeah,
It's
that's
been on
right.
the- yeah.
You haven't, but we referenced it recently.
Yeah.
It has a really good ending, but the tone of that book is so interesting for TV.
Right.
It'd be cool to have something that's almost sitcom-esque, but go from like mundane life into New Gods
Right.
surreality.
Sure.
I'd love a book that takes place in the book of Mr. Miracle, like even right after, but it's like their day-to-day life of Big Barda and Scott Free.
Right.
And they're just like living in a apartment, and then the New God stuff feels so surreal. And I'd love to see something, could be a sequel, because it would have the right tone, and that's how Watchmen landed
Sure,
well.
yeah.
Is the tone was right.
Right.
So I think Mr. Miracle and Clone Saga are my two.
What about what are books that you can think of that have a clear, definitive, or not clear, definitive? That's a weird way to put this, but I was gonna say open-ended books that end openly, where like, and then life continues. Do you know what I mean? Like I think of
Animal Man would be great. To
Animal
see
Man.
Carry On.
And
it has an open ending.
The Boys, the comic book
Yeah.
version of The Boys, where all right, we know well, I don't want to spoil.
Don't
anything for
spoil
the
it,
comic,
yeah,
but
'cause-
like it might happen. So
That's what I'm saying, is like, we
some
don't know.
things happen, but then the
But
character,
more.
life goes on. After that, it's tough though, because we see
Yeah.
that we have The Boys already.
The Boys is very good. And
This is
there's
a hard
like 3
question.
boys. Yeah,
This
I
is-
think those are my only two without like pausing and thinking.
Yeah, the BPRD book. I mean, it's a one-off that I've mentioned a few times, but Marvel 1706
Yeah.
would just be fun
Wait,
to see.
1602?
1602
is Neil
1602.
Gaiman.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
sorry. 1706. Just numbers.
Hey,
I just picked
here we
random
are.
numbers.
What a year.
That's so funny that I just picked like there's not even a 2 in it. It's not even like I mixed the numbers around.
Yeah, there's just like,
nope.
yeah, it's 1706. Was
I
that
knew
another
I knew there
important
was
year?
a 6. I knew shit happened in the 1700s. It had to be that one Neil Gaiman comic book about the X-Men if they were,
Yeah.
or the Marvel universe. But something like that, because it's a one-off. It's a little quick shot.
I thought of you actually because you talk about that book a lot.
Yeah.
There's an issue of Spider-Man this week. It's Amazing Fantasy 1000 to celebrate 60 years of Spider-Man.
Okay.
And in it, Neil Gaiman wrote a story of Neil Gaiman meeting Spider-Man, and he references 1602 as him not making Peter Parker Spider-Man. And it's this really fun, like,
Amazing.
very self-aware Neil Gaiman meeting Steve Ditko, which actually really happened.
Sure.
But also meeting Spider-Man and talking about 1602.
That's really fun.
And it was very funny to read Neil Gaiman, write Neil Gaiman.
very difficult, very fun question.
Yeah, I really dug this.
What's up, Coy? It's Miles from Huntington Beach, and producer Jake, I got you too. So I have a little game that I wanted to play with you guys. After seeing Ant-Man has a podcast on Ms. Marvel, and Wong has a social media account on LinkedIn in She-Hulk, I thought of what would you pair up a character and a social media presence with. So, for instance, the Bat family might have a podcast about murders or something like that. Or Wolverine could have an infographics kind of show where he goes over like old historical events like World Wars and stuff like that maybe he's been in. So I just wanted to see your take on you guys pairing up social media things with comic book characters. All right, have fun. Peace out.
Okay.
There's another really fun
Love
thing.
this.
Yeah. So what social media or creative outlets would comic book characters utilize?
Immediately.
Yeah.
Spider-Man Instagram. He's a photographer. He's going to get crazy shots.
Yeah.
There's a very unique experience.
I feel like though, because of modern comics existing in that character, like it's probably, that has to be referenced in a comic somewhere. Like Miles has to have an Instagram on something, right?
I can't think. I mean, I don't know if it's they have references to social media,
Sure,
but
yeah.
I don't know if they can say Instagram. I can't.
Oh,
think
right, of course.
But like,
yeah.
I can't think of a picture based.
Right, yeah,
because I think that's
that's
perfect.
That's
Peter
really
Parker
fun.
and an Instagram thing.
I just come up with something and I'm not going to come up with anything better than it, and I'm worried about saying it first. Alfred has a mommy blog. So they're very popular where you like you go on and it just like tips about raising kids and things to do and things not to do and books to read, but it's just Alfred and it's about him raising a young Bruce Wayne. Yeah. And he's just online and he's just sharing stories of like, oh, today we went to the park and this, and you got to make sure. And he sells like books and he sells like, safety. He's like, oh, I've worked with my team and we've developed new child safety locks for your mansion. But it's all super cute. But it's all like it's like inaccessible to
the day to day.
It's like to like the middle class,
right? They're all prohibitively expensive.
Yeah, it's like a mommy blog, but only for like really wealthy
mommies.
Yeah, and it's called like Ask Alfred, and it's in the Ask Jeeves logo, but it's Alfred.
I like that.
What's the name? Pennyworth.
Alfred Pennyworth.
Ask Pennyworth. A pennyworth for your thoughts.
But it's the Ask Jeeves logo.
Sure.
That's also a butler and an ask
but
question.
That's what I was thinking.
Yes.
But I just think that a pennyworth for your thoughts.
That's good. I like that.
Yeah, no, Alfred has a mommy blog. There's no way that Alfred, and also every other person who's raised an orphan person turned superhero.
I'm going to go with, words. Nightwing on Tinder. Nightwing serial
That's just
dater.
him trying to get laid.
Yeah, but he's such a serial dater. I see like there's like, cause he's known for his butt. Like there's always butt shots. That's a social media.
All right, sure.
It's just a social media with a purpose.
All right. He did say that he thought that the Bat Family would have a podcast, which
that's fun.
Which made me think though that it would be like the podcast is a really fun thing because I could definitely see heroes having a podcast as their alter ego.
Oh yeah, like their civilian
to
identities.
Make them seem cooler. So like what superheroes have an alter ego or secret identity, but they want people to think that they're cooler than they like. I could see like Rhino having a podcast called like the coolest villains in New York.
Yeah, where he just
every week he's
lamest.
like, let me tell you, people sleep on this Rhino guy. I feel like this Rhino is really giving
a real Kite Man move.
He's really giving
Kite Man. That's 100% a Kite Man. Kite Man with a podcast.
Kite Man has a Kite Man fan podcast.
Yeah, 100%. Kite Man's like,
and I don't even know his real name. Let's call him Jerry.
Kite Man.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah. Whatever his.
That's so.
Yeah, he has that. I like to think that Bane has like a workout blog,
like a fitness blog.
Yeah, fitness blog.
100%.
But it's always just him being like, and then you hit this button, and then he gets all jacked.
He just has a steroid blog. That's so good.
Oh yeah. He's like
pro HGH.
But I was gonna say
he's like all It's like supplements. It's like one of those, but it's a pyramid scheme.
Exactly.
Like the NutraFit shit. Oh, yes. I love that.
It's like that dumb shit that idiot Alex Jones sells.
Yes. He's hawking.
Oh, and by the way, who is that? Who has a conspiracy theory YouTube show
besides Jonah Jameson?
Besides Jonah, like who is the like that's somebody.
Yeah, there's got to be like a hate monger.
Or it doesn't. It could even be like, oh wait, no, okay. I got to come up with the right. Sometimes the premise comes to me before the character to put in the premise, and so I need to think of somebody who you wouldn't believe, or people wouldn't believe has had the adventures they've had.
Jimmy Olsen.
Jimmy Olsen has a aliens supernatural podcast.
Oh, that's so
Do you
good.
know what I mean? Where he like interviews people about like UFOs and
Like
it's
History
like,
Channel shit, like,
yeah, exactly.
like secret
Ancient
aliens.
aliens.
Yeah, exactly.
He has like a blog or YouTube, whatever, and it's like it's all like, so this week, guys, so we have proof the government doesn't want you to know
of Jimmy
this.
Olsen, yes.
And it's all like stuff, and nobody believes him. Everybody's like, whatever, Jimmy.
I love that.
Yeah.
I want someone that's really, really, really evil that seems like they wouldn't have something like Tombstone with a Pinterest board. I want a very successful Tombstone Pinterest.
What is on the Pinterest board?
All home design. Like he's very good at like what color to paint your walls, how to decorate, like feng shui with Tombstone.
It's like there's like an interview out there where Martha Stewart is like, "What can I say? Tombstone has great ideas.
He just really knows.
He's got the eye for it.
He just really knows what's what."
All right,
Speedball. I got a great one.
Okay.
Remember Speedball from the New Warriors? Speedball with a TikTok. He always wants attention. He's hyperkinetic. It's ADD as hell. It's a lot of energy. Speedball's TikTok would be huge.
What is he TikTok about?
Superheroes. He's like documenting a day in the life of the superhero, but he's like going to events and he's like, and he's like narrating over the things that he's at. And then he like when he's fighting, he takes out his phone and is like filming stuff. And then he's like rapidly editing it.
Can anybody even follow what's happening?
Probably not, but that's half a TikTok.
I mean, that's people could argue about that with your shit.
That's fair. They're not wrong.
You are Speedball. And it's only because you do speed and a ton of 8-balls.
That's why I'm here, you guys.
Okay, the last thing I could think of is, I'm trying to think of Rage. The first one that comes to mind is Wolverine. I know we're very X-Men centric. We're fans of X-Men. I'm trying to think of somebody else who's very Hulk. Right, a really rage driven. I like to think that Hulk has. Nobody knows about it. He doesn't call himself Bruce. He has like an anagram or not. What is it called when you like mix your letters up, right? So he goes by a different name, and he has a faceless cooking channel, or baking, where it's literally just like it's about baking.
Yeah.
And he posts recipes.
Oh, that's so good.
But then you never see the person. It's always just like, hey, today here's this recipe, and it's like, but it's all about like baked goods and places and things he's tried in different places. And it's like
you just
today
see a flannel shirt in hands.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. The entire thing is done, and it's all real time.
Yeah.
So it's like, yeah, today we're gonna go ahead and bake, and now you have to bake this for 45 minutes, and then it's just silence. It just stops, and then during that time he says like, you know, guys, I've been thinking a lot about the way trees grow. And it's like it's really
super subdued and chill.
And of course he is partnered with his now friend Abomination.
Right.
Who has like a Bob Ross style painting channel.
I love this zen for them.
Yeah.
I think it's how we stay calm.
I think we nailed it.
Guys, is there any social media we didn't hit? I think we got the big ones, you guys. And of course,
I mean, there's a billion things.
Aunt May believes all the conspiracy theories on Facebook. We got to get Aunt May off Facebook. Aunt May, you need to take a break from Facebook. Stop sharing those memes. That's how people get your accounts. Do not share your 10 favorite places you've been, things you've done. That's how the passwords get shared.
Oh my God, that's hilarious.
All right, that is going to do
Aunt May is the person who's constantly taking those surveys.
Yeah, and then people get her information.
Like the animal I am is a butterfly.
And then Parker's like address gets hacked, and that's how supervillains find him.
Shit,
and you know Boomerang's on Parler.
Oh, wait a minute. All right, there's one other. Who is the like Mr. Beast of comic books?
Booster Gold. Wait, no, he's not altruistic enough.
Booster Gold is not altruistic.
Yeah, no, you're
right.
Who is the Mr. Beast? I've only recently learned how cool Mr. Beast is.
Ugh.
Like really recently.
Is he cool?
Dude, he's made so much money for people. Like
All
he's
right.
helped so many people.
Sure.
I mean, he literally isn't he like made of altruism? Like he just raises money for others.
Well, yeah, I guess his whole channel is based on like
helping.
Yeah, sure. I guess
what's cooler?
No, all right, sure. I'll go with it. I don't know. It's just he seems like he's just. I guess I'm judging him based on his whole vibe.
But he lives in like a meager home. I found out literally today, he when he made his first like 100 million, he was still living in like a crappy duplex, and people broke in and stole all of his stuff, and he was like, oh, I guess I need to move somewhere nice. Like he doesn't use his money on him. He just like outsources, and I think that's really cool.
Well, who is that?
That is a good question.
Because like who is the Mr. Beast of comics?
Who's secretly rad other than Jimmy Olsen?
But they're also like
got an off-putting vibe at times.
Yeah.
like a Ben Urich type.
They're definitely I mean, like is it Barry Allen?
Oh, maybe it's or Wally West.
Sure.
Like someone in
Wally.
that Flash world.
Yeah. You know what I mean? Because it's like,
Or Iceman, Bobby Drake seems
Oh.
like. I think it's Bobby Drake.
we love X-Men.
We do. I
All right.
tried to steer away and I came right back.
Let's get out of here.
All right. Thank you for this question. It clearly spawned a lot of crazy ideas. This has been a fun episode. I love these hotline questions and calls. We said it at a bunch last week, but it was really cool. We got some treats from Ben, right? Ben
Detrixhe sent us some goods, some snacks, some teas.
Yeah, that was really sweet. I just had some Gushers, which is my favorite thing.
Mystique, it has a cosplay channel.
Oh, I like
and
that.
people
for
are like,
her.
how do you do this?
She's definitely on TikTok too. Mystique just like, and she does like the makeup stuff and like just
makeup tutorials with Mystique.
Oh, that's so good.
Sorry, I can.
Yeah, but Ben, thank you for the Gushers. That is my favorite snack. Gushers and Chex Mix. But yeah, thank you. We really appreciate that. And if you want to check out koicast.com for the wish list link for Dragon Wagon and for my birthday, both of those are up and pinned on the Discord. You can rate and review this very show at Apple Podcasts. Post 5 stars. Keep us warm at night. Koicast.com. We got merch. We got mugs. We got masks. We also have the Patreon. We have current unpunchable gift horse of the month, Gilbert Short, still unpunchable. He's back. We're going to find out very soon what his movie is that we're going to be enduring. Well, in Jake's case, enduring. Maybe it's Fast 9. We'll see. Please follow us on social media. Use hashtag Koicast to get our attention. You can also just tweet us at KoiJandro and at Jake Lloyd Bacon. If you want to leave a hotline call us at 818-794-0722. That's 818-794-0722. Or you can send a voice memo to contact@koicast.com. Thank you all so much for being here. This is my last episode. These are my last hours as a 33-year-old. So I want to thank you guys. This year has been a very interesting one. And a lot of you here at the Koicast I've gotten to meet in person and at cons. We had our first ever Koicast panel at WonderCon in my 33rd year. And that was really special. I got to meet some of you folks. And you guys really... as much as I've been fighting the internet lately, you guys are the opposite of that. And we never have to monitor the Discord. We never really have to deal with like shitty people. We don't have to screen these calls for bad. We just have to screen them for how many are good and making time. And that is a very special community that it is a consistent source of good. And I really, really appreciate it. And then any of the Patreon stuff, like you guys make this worth doing. And this started with me, yelling into the void, monologuing. And then Jake was like, maybe you shouldn't just talk to yourself for an hour. And I was like, that's true, Jake. And then Jake and I got to be really good friends. And then you guys got to be friends with us. And that means a lot. So to everyone that I got to meet this year and got to know this year, I always see my birthday as like a new year. So thank you for 33. Thank you to every part, big or small, you had in it. And thank you for listening. And we'll see you next time.
Hello, workers of the world. I'm James Mastriani.
And I'm Matt Newell.
We're writers, comedians, performers, and most importantly, we're the hosts of Good Work.
That's right. It's a comedic roundtable about the world of working in which we discuss labor politics, union news. We have fantastic guests.
Yeah, like Jeff Bezos called us from his spaceship one time.
Yeah, he's always listening.
Hi, Jeff.
So join us and producer Jake on Good Work, available at goodworkpod.com or wherever you're listening to this podcast right now.
Dragon Wagon.